Hey guys, it's ShaneTheMan here, and I'm back with another Cajun recipe today. A lot of people like my red beans and rice video. They were sending me messages and emails and stuff wanting me to do some other recipes. And pretty much the only recipes I really know are from my mom anyway, and she's directly from the South in Louisiana. Pretty much everything she cooked was Cajun, but anyway, today I have for you a simple, easy Cajun fried shrimp po' boy. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so for this recipe, you're just going to need, of course, some shrimp. Now this is frozen. I prefer, obviously, to get some fresh shrimp if I can. But since a lot of the stores are out of the meat and, you know, a lot of stores are still closed and in quarantine and you shouldn't go out the house and all that a lot, I was able to get some frozen shrimp that's been in my freezer. So I've defrosted that, drained it, and kind of dried up a little bit of the excess water. A couple eggs here. Now the eggs and the flour is going to depend on how much shrimp you're trying to cook. I put probably about maybe a cup of flour here. And these are 2 eggs. Should be good for the amount of shrimp I like. And then you're going to need some pepper, some salt, garlic powder, of course some bread, any kind of bread that you like. I like this type of bread. I prefer to have French. A more traditional would be a French roll. But this was available for me. And tomatoes, lettuce as you like, if you like that. And then of course, if you want to add a little bit of spice to it, you can put just a little bit of cayenne, and we'll talk about that later when we start mixing everything together. How I'm going to cook this is I'm going to put it in this little fryer here. It's kind of convenient and nice, good little small size, make the cleanup easier. Usually I would do it just in a pan, and then you can also do it in an air fryer if you got one or if you like that. It should come out just fine. I've just never done it there yet, so I'm just going to use this. But so now let's talk about the seasonings. Alright, so the main thing for this, I know some people like to soak their shrimp and maybe buttermilk or marinate their shrimp some kind of way. I don't do that, and it's really unnecessary. This is a simple seasoning that I've used. My mom used it on a lot of things. You can use it on chicken, you can use it on pork chops, anything you like. But the key is in the flour here. We got to season the flour really good, and you really want to taste it too. Taste it to your liking. You really want to taste those seasonings, because once you fry it, you know, something's going to fall off, it's going to kind of dilute. But you really want to keep those seasonings in there. Since we're not actually seasoning the shrimp themselves, we're going to season up the breading really good and make sure we have a good breading that's going to stick well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some, again, I can't tell you really direct measurements because it's going to depend on how much shrimp you like and what you like to taste in your flour. But the key is, again, you're going to want to taste the flour after you season it. So I'll show you. I'm probably going to end up putting maybe about a tablespoon or 2 of the garlic powder and the salt even, and then maybe a tablespoon of the pepper as well. And I'll stir it up, and then I'll taste it. And if it needs a little bit more or something, I'll put it in there. But remember, the key is, again, you really want to season the flour well. So let's do that right now. Alright, so like I said, I'm just going to put some of this garlic powder in there. And like I said, it's going to seem like a lot, but you really want to taste this seasoning. There's my garlic powder. Throw some salt in there as well. Then I'm just going to pop this lid right off and pour it in. I like to pour it on top of the garlic powder so I can see how much I'm putting in, because if I put it directly in the flour, then I can't always tell. And then, last but not least, a little bit of black pepper. And go ahead and give that a stir. I'm gonna go ahead and just mix this all around really good, get it all incorporated in the flour, get it all mixed up and dispersed well, so that it's evenly gonna coat the shrimp when I put them in here. What we're doing right now, if you really couldn't tell, is we're just making a breading. We're gonna bread these shrimp and fry them. So they're gonna come out nice and golden and crispy with a good thick crunchy crust on them. At least we hope so. But I'm gonna give you some techniques to help you out with that. So there, you can see, I don't know if you can tell with the lighting, but you can see the pepper in there, you can see the garlic powder in there. Judging from my experience and everything, I can tell I probably need a little bit more, but I'm going to taste it first and let me just check it out. Yeah. If the flour tastes good, then you did something right. So I can taste the salt, I can taste enough pepper. I think I'm going to put a little bit more garlic powder and then we're going to be good. Like I said, I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit more in here like that. Not too much, it's pretty good. Go ahead and give that another mix again. Make sure it's all evenly dispersed well. And give it one last taste. Now this ain't gonna hurt you, it's just flour. That's good. Yeah. Alright. So I got my seasoning ready. And that's pretty much my seasoning right there. If you really want to, you can put something on the shrimp. You can marinate them into buttermilk or whatever, but for me it's really unnecessary. And from what I'm used to, you don't really need it. Again, okay, so there's the flour. We're gonna go ahead and scramble these eggs up and make an egg dip for the shrimp as well. And then we'll come back and we'll start preparing the shrimp. Alright guys, I got my eggs beat up. I brought another little Tupperware here, so while my oil is heating up over here, if you're using one of these fryers, I have it set for like 350-ish. You can adjust it however you need if it looks like it's too hot. That usually is pretty good for me for this particular fryer. I got some peanut oil in here. Doesn't really matter what kind of oil you use. Peanut oil is good for frying stuff, but you can use vegetable oil too. My mom always used vegetable oil, and I've used it before. It tastes just fine. But anyway, I set up another bowl here so I can put some of the shrimp while the oil's heating up after I coat them in the breading. Alright, so the key for some breading, there's a couple ways. You can either make a wet batter or a dry batter is what we're doing. So we're doing a dry batter. But what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take the shrimp, and you can do multiple at a time. I'm just going to show you this for learning's sake. You're going to put it in the flour first. Alright, dredge it in the flour, shake it off, dip it over here in the egg. Make sure it's nice and coated in the egg. And then dip it back in the flour again. Again, you want to try to keep one wet hand and one dry hand. It'll keep the cleanup a little bit better. But that's it right there. You get a nice coating of flour back on it, and then we're good. Put that in there. So I'm just gonna take a handful of these, throw them in the flour, mix them around a bit, just get them all coated in the flour nice. Take them out, shake them off, put them in the egg. Take them out, shake them off, put them in the egg. And that's about it for that. So let me go ahead and go through this bowl of shrimp and just do this. Again, put them in the flour first, the nice seasoned flour that you made. Then we're going to stick them in the egg, get them nice and coated in the egg. And then back in the flour. And you see what happens when you don't leave one hand dry and one hand wet. You get all cakey. But it's fine. It's for YouTube's, right? Anyway, so again, dry, wet, dry. Done. Yep. So I'm going to go through these shrimp and do all the rest of those, and then I'll come back when we're ready to start frying. Alright, and there you have it. Probably could use a little bit more flour in some of these, but you get the gist. I've gone ahead and put all my shrimp in the flour. Remember, flour, egg, flour. And then I got my oils all preheated. Again, I said I put it on 350-ish. It took maybe like 5 minutes or so. It was preheated before I was even done breading the shrimp. The shrimp cook pretty fast. So you don't want it too high to where it's just going to burn everything up. But if you have it too low, then whatever you're frying, regardless if it's shrimp or french fries or whatever, it's just going to absorb the grease and be really, really greasy. So you want to make sure your oil is preheated and at a good temperature. And if you want to just flick a little bit of water in there, you can test it out. I did it a little bit earlier. It'll start spattering. That's how you know it's ready. But got my basket up, and I'm just going to start putting some of these shrimp in here. You don't want to overload the basket because, like I said, you want to have them cook evenly. But again, they don't take very long. So I'm just gonna throw an even layer in here of some shrimp, a battered shrimp. With the amount of shrimp I have, depending on how big your fryer is, but this one I have particularly, it's going to take probably maybe about three batches. But I'm just going to throw these down here. I'll let you see them cooking for a second or two before I put the lid back on, so you can see how it's going. But while I do this, while they're cooking, I'm going to go ahead and prepare just some place to put these shrimp to drain afterwards. Ooh, little fog. Alright, be right back. And that was quick. I'm back. Literally, it's been like maybe a minute. I just set this up here for the shrimp and they're done. Just to put a little paper towel on the bottom to kind of drain off some of the excess oil. You want to refrain from putting like a lid or anything on it like that, or covering it with the paper towels, because they're just going to get soggy from the steam. And we want them crispy and crunchy. So let's check on these shrimp a little bit. Like I said, it's not going to take very long. You just want to make it so that the crust gets nice and golden brown to your liking. And I'll lift it up and see, and we'll talk about it. You see, it's still pale, so they're looking good, but I'm probably going to cook them a little bit more just so they get a little bit more brown. Give it a little shake so none of them are stuck together, and put that lid back on. Probably be another minute or two, so maybe about 3 minutes-ish, depending on how many shrimp you put in the batch at a time. But okay guys, let's let those shrimp cook. I'll go ahead and cook up all the rest of the batch, and then when they're done, I'll pull them out and show you how to prepare awesome Cajun shrimp po' boy. And I'm back real quick. I just wanted to show you guys what I meant with the oil temperature. Since my oil was hot enough, I just pulled these out. This was the first batch we did. Poured them in here. And you see there's barely any grease coming off of them. They don't look greasy. They're nice and crispy. And that's how it goes. If your oil's too low or not hot enough, when you go to fry these, and that's another reason why you don't want to overpack your fryer or your pan or anything like that, is because you don't want to lower the temperature down too much. So if it's too low, then it needs to be all soppy greasy, or if you ever been to like a restaurant and they give you the fries and the fries are just soaking with grease, that's why. But anyway, still frying these shrimp. I'll be back, take it easy, and we'll be back with a good sandwich. Hey guys, we're back. I finished frying up all the shrimp, and let's get to making these sandwiches now. So here you go. Like I said, I had the French roll is what I prefer. This is not really a French roll, but it's similar, maybe like an Italian roll, kind of like you would get at Subway. If it's too bready for you, you can pull out some of this to give it a nice little pocket for the shrimp to sit. Go ahead and eat it anyway. It's good stuff. And here we go. You see all these awesome shrimp? Look, let me give you a close-up. You see? You can see the seasonings in there. That's why it's important to season your flour well. Now we're just going to make our sandwich. Now, if you don't like mayonnaise, don't put the mayonnaise. This is the part where you can kind of make it however you want to. Usually you'll have lettuce, tomato, mayonnaise, maybe a little remoulade sauce if you want to. Like I said, if you want a little bit more spicy, with more of a Cajun kick, put maybe a quarter teaspoon, half a teaspoon of a cayenne pepper in with the flour. Or you can just put your own hot sauce on here, which is what I'm going to do, because not everybody likes, you know, the spice. So I just add mine on there how I like it. But I'm going to put a little bit of mayonnaise on this bread. Alright, like so. I don't like a whole lot, so I didn't put a lot. If you like more, put more. If you don't like none, don't put none. And then I'm going to go ahead and plate up with some shrimp on here. Now, the shrimp I got, and this is kind of important too, the shrimp I got were not too big. If you want to use big shrimp, use up some big shrimp. I like to make them a little bit smaller, maybe like a medium to small size shrimp. And they come probably maybe 30 to 40 in a package or so, which is, I cooked about one package here. I like them smaller because then you can stack them and pile them up on the sandwich. So that way you don't have, you know, skimpy sandwich. You want a lot of shrimp on there. You don't want it just to be bread and condiments, right? So don't be afraid. Go ahead and pile it up on there like that. Look at that. It looks good. And then I'm going to take up and slice up some of these tomatoes. Alright folks, like I said, I just sliced up some tomatoes. Put the tomatoes on here. Got a little butter lettuce. I like the butter lettuce. You can put any type of lettuce you want, of course. I like the butter lettuce because it's nice and tender. And it's easy to work with. It's not stiff. And then I'm just going to close this up. Let's see. Close it up like that. Yeah. Like I said, I'm going to put a little hot sauce on mine too, but I'll leave it off for now just for demonstration purposes. And then there you go. It's just sandwich. And then I made up some fries here. Put some fries with it. Or whatever you like, really. Matter of fact, a good side to go with this is a nice cup of gumbo or a cup of Cajun red beans and rice, which, by the way, I have a video for that as well. You know, I'll put the link down below if you guys want to learn how to make some awesome Cajun red beans and rice. Like I said, that would go good with this as a side or as a meal by itself. But let me go ahead and cut this open. Let's taste it, alright? Alright guys, now for the exciting part. Let's taste it. Look at that. I've cut it in half. Ooh, the shrimp is nice and crispy. You can taste that seasoning and that flavor in there. Just look at that. Ooh, see if we can get it to focus a bit. Just look at that sandwich right there. Oh yeah, I can't wait to taste this. Alright. You guys definitely have to try this. So good. The flavor is awesome. Even with the frozen shrimp, you season your flour right, it'll be perfect. A little bit of spice, how you like it. Make your sandwich, make it yours, own it. Like I said, this is my way, my mama's way, the Cajun way that I grew up with, and I love it. and I hope you do too. Like I said, I put a little fries with mine, but you can put some side of gumbo, you can put some alligator tail, some fried okra, whatever you like. Matter of fact, if you look at the links down below, I have an awesome video for some Cajun red beans and rice, the best red beans and rice you'll ever make or to ever taste. That'll go awesome with this as a side as well, so go ahead and check that out if you like. The link's down below. But yeah, guys, I hope you try this. If you try it, leave me some comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And you can click right here if you want to subscribe to my channel, and then click right over here to see some more of my videos. But as always, guys, thanks for watching. I'm back, and see you next time.
Is it recording?